So looking in your game view, I'm going to press Command Shift and 4, and I'm going to click and drag to capture some of this scene. And when I capture it, it's going to create a screenshot that then gets saved to my desktop. So opening up my Finder, the blue smiley face, I'm going to come over to my desktop, and here's a screenshot that I just took, and I'm going to click and drag that into my assets. Once it's there, I can see it as my screenshot right here. I can click on it. It's Sprite 2D. We just want to make sure that it's that. We don't need to do anything else with this. I'm going to go in my scene folder, and I'm going to right click, create, and then we're going to scene, right click, create new scene, and I'm going to type in main menu, all is one word. So with my main menu, I'm going to then double click it and open it up. And this is what we're going to work with first. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over, I'm going to change my layout because I like the default layout. It kind of looks a little bit better as I do this. There we go. So under my main menu, I'm going to create, we're going to go down to UI, and we're going to add in an image. So I want to double click so I can see my canvas, because that's what it's going to add in when we went to UI. And now I'm going to take my sprite that I just added in, the screenshot, having my image selected. I have a place over here for source image, and I'm going to click and drag that right to my source image. Now you're going to see that it's kind of small here, so I want to enlarge that to kind of fill up this space and making it look something like this. Try not to distort it too much. This is about the same size as my last project. I'm going to come back to my canvas, and I'm going to go over to the UI scale mode, and I'm going to change the UI scale mode from constant pixel size to scale with screen size. So zooming back out, it did make that a little bit bigger. So now I'm just going to shrink that so again that it fits right inside of that box, and we don't see anything else there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a text box, and with this text box I'm going to label this as title, and this is going to be the title of my Flappy Bird game. So coming over here, you guys can title your game whatever you want. So I'm going to start with that, and then zooming back out, I'm going to make this super big because I'm going to increase my font to maybe 50. And let's go a little bit bigger. How about 75? There we go. And then I'm going to move it over to the side. If you have other fonts, you can change those fonts. We've already imported the Luckiest Guy, so there we go. I can change the color as needed, as we've done before. So maybe we want like a red. I'm going to duplicate this, and this is going to tell me how I'm going to play, but now I'm going to reduce my font size. And in this case, I'm going to say click to play. First off, we'll move it just so we can see it. Click, play, fly through the columns to score without hitting them. So I'm giving them some directions. In this case, I'm going to center this, and I could go ahead and move this down to the center of this if I want to. So there we've got something like that. The next thing we're going to add is we're going to create, and we're going to add a UI again, and this time we're going to add in a button. And I'm going to take my button and I'm going to put it right underneath Flappy Bird. You guys can select your own. Clicking on the down arrow, we have a text box, and I'm going to change this text box to play. And then over here in my text, I'm also going to type in play. I'm going to do all caps. I'm going to increase the font size to 20, and then I'm also going to change it to the Luckiest Guy. So we get something like that. I can change the color of this box too if I want to. So we're going to take and we're going to click on this button, right click on it and duplicate. And in this down arrow, we're going to click quit. And then selecting that, coming over into our inspector and typing quit here. We're going to grab the button main object, and we're going to slide the whole thing off to the side a little bit here too. So this is our main setup that we have right now, and we have to now create a script. So on our canvas, we're going to add component. We're going to go down to new script, and we're going to call this main menu. And we're going to create an add. And once it's down in here, I'm going to double click it to open it in Visual Studios. So coming up to the very top, the first thing that I need to do is I need to go to using lowercase u, Unity engine.ui, because we're going to use some text. And we also want to work with our scene management. Oh, it looks like I forgot an E. Scene management and semicolon. Coming to public class main menu mono behavior, I'm going to hit return after that bracket, and I'm going to type in public string play game level semicolon, and then I'm going to do a public void play game and parentheses. Come to the end of that and hit return, brackets. Oops. We want to leave those, so we're going to come to the end of that and hit brackets, hit return, scene manager dot load scene, parentheses, play game level. Come to the end of that and do a semicolon. And then we're going to go ahead and get rid of our void start and get rid of our void update. And then I'm going to type in another public void. And this one's going to be quit game, parentheses. Go to the end of that, hit return, curly bracket, enter. And we're going to type in application and type in quit. So we're telling it to quit, semicolon. We need to make sure our brackets close, and that does. So I'm going to hit play. Okay, and stop. And I'm going to come back over to Canvas. So from there, we're going to come over, and it says play game level. So the game level that we are going to play, we named that scene main. But if you ever are wondering, you just want to come in and see which scene it is. And in this case, it's going to be main. So coming back, we're telling it to play. As soon as we click play, we want to click this main level. And we're going to come back and click on our first button, which is our play button. And we're going to come to the inspector down to where it says list is empty and click the plus. We've got this none object, and that's where you're going to drag your canvas in. Dragging that in there allows this to pop up, this no function drop down, and we're going to click main menu, play game. So it should have that. So this is telling us if we click this button, we're going to go to play game from our main menu script, and it's going to load that level. And if we click on our quit button, again, we're clicking on that part, we're going to do the same thing. Click the plus, drag the canvas in, and where it says no function, we're going to click on that main menu, and this time we're going to do quit game. So when we click on that button, it will click for us. And the last thing we need to do is we need to make sure that they're all set up in our build settings. So if we go to File, Build Settings, you're going to see that I have my main first. And what I want to do is I want to add an open scene, or I come in and I drag in my main menu. So I can either add open scene, and it's there, or I can drag it in. Now this one needs to be first in our order because we want to run that first. So click and drag that up. We don't have to build yet, but now we just want to see what it looks like if we click play. So here's our image behind it. If I click play, here's my game.